Hello everybody, my name is Vitnia Saldava and I'm a career consultant at careerservice.eu. There is a problem a lot of people have. Their CVs are fine, their applications are perfectly correct, but still they do not get the job or sometimes even the interview for the job. I think the problem here is in the ability to sell yourself, and that's what my today's video is going to be about. And my advice applies to anyone. Either you're just starting out and looking for your very first job or someone on upper levels. It also applies to all sorts of situations. You can be either going for an interview, filling out a job application, or just walking into a business to look for a job on the spot. Let's dig straight in. Number 1. Say I, not we. Meeting a prospective employer is no time for modesty. So either it's an interview or you're meeting someone in person. This is a moment for you to show your skills and say things like, I led a project of €5 billion budget. Well, that's quite a lot. Or my work helped company achieve this, that, etc. Make sure you highlight your achievements and use I. Avoid saying we, because you don't want to appear you were just helping out. You were responsible for this, so take ownership of that. And if you feel like you're boasting, you have to change your thinking, because recruiters cannot read your mind. You need to present it to them in an as easy way as possible so that they can, if it's in an interview, they can write things down and then reflect back on them. As long as your overall presentation isn't arrogant and over the top, they will appreciate of you actually laying out what you've done so that they can reflect on it when they're making a decision. But if it wasn't exactly clear for them, they'll probably hire somebody else. Number 2, find your unique selling point. A lot of people are clueless about what makes them unique and what makes them stand out. What often helps is speaking to someone like a career advisor or a mentor. But one way to start thinking about it on your own is to think, what makes me different? What sets me apart from other candidates that might apply for the same position? So for example, if you're applying for a job within international organizations like the UN, NATO or others, you'll be pitted against thousands of very qualified applicants. So here, maybe your master's degree in international relations isn't the top thing you should be leading with. However, if you have some field experience or experience with projects in underprivileged countries, for example, those things might be more relevant and much easier to sell than your master's degree that a lot of people will have. And don't forget, this unique selling point changes on what jobs you're applying for. For example, if you're going for a job, a teaching job in Russia, your degree or your English degree from a British university might be very relevant and might be something that other candidates do not have. However, if you're going for something similar in London, say a teaching job in London, maybe your English language degree will not really set you apart because most people will have that. Here you can sell other things. Here you should look at whether you have some extraordinary language skills or interpersonal skills, for example. Make sure you always adapt that selling point to whatever job comes along. Once you've found that, make sure it's prominent in either your CV, your application, in your elevator pitch, which is just a short statement about yourself if you happen to be walking into places or bumping into people in important networking events. However you're looking for jobs, make sure that that unique selling point is reflected somewhere near the top. Number 3, fit into their culture. There is no one answer about what you should wear or how you should look like or how you should act in front of a prospective employer. It's more about observing as to what they are doing, what the culture of the company is, and trying to adjust yourself to that. Employers can see already from the first glance if you'll be a good fit or not. For example, is everyone quite relaxed and casual, or is it more of a hierarchy like in the military? For a tech company, for example, you can address the panel by their first names, but in the military there might be a leader of the panel and you might need to address him as sir. And as you can imagine, to mix those two up might lead to some weird interactions. So remember, always approach things from the perspective of the employer. How can I help them solve their problems? How do I fit into their team? And so once you identify those questions, then just mold yourself accordingly. Number 4, project confidence. If you yourself are feeling unsure about your own abilities, or if you're not feeling very confident, it will show, and they will get the same impression. So very often it's not really what you say, it's how you say it and how you carry yourself when you walk into a business or when you attend a job interview. Here what's important is maintaining a good posture, avoiding saying things like, or engaging in uptalk, which is raising the tone of your voice at the end of each sentence. What's also important is to shake hands, look into someone's eyes, not avoid eye contact, and just not appear strange and unconfident. Remember, it's not about who's the best on paper, it's about how you sell yourself. Always make sure you just project yourself as well as possible. That will really go a long way. Number 5, be prepared. So here, this means several things. If you do walk into a business like a restaurant or a bar or a beauty salon to look for a job on the spot, make sure you know what you're looking for. Make sure you have answers to those questions that might come. What salary do you expect? When can you start? What hours do you expect to work? Those seem obvious, but very often people come into those businesses, and if you're not even able to answer those questions, it just makes it appear like you don't know what you want and you're an unreliable person. Having your CV with you, printed out with contact details, having copies of your certifications with you if needed, or just preparing some common answers to common interview questions if you're preparing for an interview. And finally, number 6, be yourself. I hear you ask, didn't she say you should constantly adapt yourself to the company you're applying for? Yes, you should. However, you still want to be genuine and authentic. You still want to be smiley and personable and greet people on a personal level and not just completely be absorbed into this persona or robot. Make them have a glimpse of you. That could be before the interview when someone's escorting you into the room, having a bit of small talk, or that could be, just in the way you smile or shake hands when you walk into a business, but the best version of yourself. So not just any you who's rolled out of bed. Of course, you're still perfectly prepared, you still research the company, you're telling them what your unique selling point is, and you're yourself. So I think that's a winning combination. Thank you for watching. And remember, if you need more tailored career advice, or if you'd like me to check your CV or prepare you for a job interview, head to careerservice.eu and you'll find ways of how to get in touch. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.